Hey folks, Matt Sharp here with another Pacific Angler Friday Fishing Report. Welcome to May. We're filming for May 1st, so if it's nowhere near May 1st, click up here. This is a link to all our Friday Fishing Reports, and I do it every week, so we've probably got something more up to date for you. This week, the big news, well, it was actually last week, but I could only tease about it in the description because it came across my desk as I was setting up the report, is that they've named fishing an essential service. Now, this is great news. It's not going to change much when it comes to where you can go fishing, nor does it change anything when it comes to the social responsibility that you have if you plan to go out fishing. But at least it means that there's some smart guys and girls up there making decisions that realize that fishing is not going to add to the problems of the world. And just maybe from a little bit of relaxation, a little bit of clarity, people are going to come back more focused and ready to go. Now, on the weather front, I wanted to touch base on that because we are rolling into what we consider freshet. And what is freshet? That's when all the snowmelt dumps out of the mountains and it makes all river fishing very challenging. We're going to touch base on the Squamish because it is really dirty and high right now and we expect that to continue. We're going to touch base on the Vedder. There's some regulation changes there that you guys want to know of, as well as the Harrison, because the Harrison's still fishing, but it's getting high. And foot access is a problem right now, as well as the boating access, because of what we're seeing right now in the world. I'm going to touch on all of that in the weather/river section of the report. On the saltwater front, Jay has a great A-type personality boaters tip. If you've ever been riding your boat and hearing weird noises and it annoys the heck out of you, he's got a trick to fix one of those annoying noises, as well as we're going to talk about the fishing off Bowen because it's been excellent. We're going to touch base on that in the saltwater section. Now, when it comes to the video front, we came up with something this week that we've been doofing around in the shop. Obviously, there's no one been in here, so we've been playing around, and I'm going to teach you guys how we're casting indoors. We're taking our fly rods, we're picking targets, and we're using this to keep our fly fishing skills on point. And I've got a first video in a series that you guys can do right now at home to keep your fly fishing skills on point, or maybe become just a little bit better. We're going to touch base that on the middle of the report. Now, a lot of people are thinking lake fishing now that we're seeing this freshet come down the pipes, and we still don't think it's socially responsible for you guys to travel farther afield, go into the interior. The local lake fishing has been excellent. Get out there, do that. It's been awesome. We're going to have details in the fishing report, as well as I recommend looking at Go Fish BC for all the stocking reports. But on the interior front, we are telling everybody to get ready. Have fun. Get those fly boxes ready. Get those boats ready. And within that in mind, we're asking for you guys' help. Jay and I are on a deep dive. We are trying to build the ultimate 2-man, 10-foot lake boat. One you can put on the top of the car or maybe put in a trailer. I want to hear about what your favorite lake boats are. Put it down in the comments below, but also send me your pictures of your ultimate lake boat or your way you've set up a lake boat, something cool that you've done. We want to see it because, like I said, we are building the ultimate lake boat. Jay and I are going to be doing a ton of lake fishing the second it becomes socially responsible. Last but not least, this is the week, guys. We're going to be announcing the winner of our cutthroat box. I'm going to save that to the very end of the report, so you're going to have to stay tuned. But if you entered into that draw by liking that video, subscribing to the channel, and commenting, "I want the box" on it, your name is in a big bin down below me here, and we're going to be pulling a name out of the hat to win that $150 fly box, so you'll want to stay tuned. As always, guys, you want to see more reports like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Hit that like button. Let's get into her. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in this week. First off, I got to thank Gus for bringing by the beers. Sorry I couldn't have one out on the curb with you about 2 o'clock today. I just didn't think it was probably smart to be drinking IPAs at 2 o'clock, though it would have been nice. Enjoying it now, man. Thank you. Let's jump right into the weather, because like I said, freshet is happening. It's something that happens every year. You guys can look at the graphs back over the years and see that this usually happens between April 20th and May 10th. And we're right in the middle of it now. You're going to see all of our rivers spike up. And when we look at the weather, I'm just going to scroll down here. You're going to see that we are getting hit with some rain this weekend, which is going to make it worse. And then I'm looking really hard at the temperatures. The night temperatures are relatively high with 9s and 7s coming down the pipes, as well as day temperatures that are sort of mid-teens. And that's going to continue to push all the rivers out. So I expect this weekend not to be really a river fishing day for you. There are some caveats and I wanted to talk about them, but let's pull up the river levels first. And we're going to start with Squamish to understand that. Now, here we are, so we'll go to Squamish. And you can see right here that we've got our green, which is our water level, and then we've got the orangey yellow, whatever you want to call this, orangey brown line, which is the discharge level. Now, a lot of people have asked me what's the difference between the two, and they usually mirror each other fairly closely. But discharge is the amount of water pushing through a given area, and the water level is obviously where that is on the river. That's a simplified version of it. I'm going to put up some slides here of actually what it means scientifically. And again, I'm not a scientist, so I might get this slightly off, but I have rafted this river 1,000 times. And I know what happens when you see this orange line way the heck above the green line. And that usually means there's a ton of water coming down. Also means that it can push out over the edges, and even though it's only right now at a 3, well, now it's even pushing up farther. It's at a 3.4, 3.5, which we would consider out in any fishing conditions. But with this amount of discharge, we know that not only is it going to be out, but there's a lot more coming, and I would expect that there's many areas on the Squamish that you probably want to avoid right now. She's going to be raging. Now, the caveat with this is that over the next month, we're going to slow down on reporting on the rivers. But if you guys are really on your game and you want to watch this on a regular basis, if we get a little bit of a cold snap, you see those night temperatures drop down 6, 5, 4, and all of a sudden you start seeing those discharge levels come down, and they're sort of evening out, and you start seeing the river creep down back into like a 3.4, 3.2, 3.1. You can have some brilliant fishing up on the Squamish system. You're going to be looking for clear water areas, so where tributaries comes in, or you might be looking at the tributaries, but there can be some really cool fishing. It's just really limited. It might be 1 out of 10 days if we're lucky on those temperature fronts, but something to pay attention to. From now on, we are going to be tuning out of the river reports, at least when it comes to the Squamish and the Chilliwack, barring something interesting happening. Let's look at the Chilliwack as well, because she's on a spike, and you can see she's flying up. Her volume and river levels are very similar, so she's not getting quite as much of a push of water, but it's out at a 2.4, 2.5 level right now. And when you look out there, it is dirty water and hard to fish. Regs changed today as you guys are watching this. It's now fly only below Vedder crossing, and above that is closed. So make sure you check your regulations, make sure you're playing by the rules. Again, there could be opportunities out this way, but we need to see those river levels drop a bit and settle a bit. It sometimes happens, it sometimes not. It depends on how warm our May is. Now, the Harrison is one that we would consider this time of year usually. Now, it's spiking as well, but it is lake fed, so the water ends up being a lot clearer than these river systems, and because of that, you can still have great fishing. But unfortunately, because of how high the water is, the foot access is very, very challenging. Normally, we'd be throwing in our boats, throwing in our jet boats. Heck, a John boat can get you into the game out on the Harrison. But right now, there's some issues when it comes to where you can launch your boats. I'm actually going to ask you guys to email me if you know a good place to launch your boat. Because I think it's a big enough area that if we can share that knowledge and a bunch of us can get out fishing and de-stress, that's probably best for everybody. And so I'd appreciate it if you guys can throw an email if you know of a good boat launch that is open right now on the Harrison, because it's definitely worth it. The cutthroat fishing was excellent riding into this. And if you guys can get out there, I'd expect that to continue. Now, on the saltwater front, Jay had a hilarious Instagram post, and it's hilarious only because I know how ADD he is when it comes to boat maintenance, and he's an A-type who loves a beautiful boat, and this little trick I thought was hilarious. I don't know how many times I was driving my jet boat across the Pit Lake, really bouncy, crappy weather, and little dings and little sounds were just throwing me off and annoying the heck out of me, and I'm not really an A-type guy. So this little trick he's got for us is brilliant. Also, on the fishing front, the fishing continues to be excellent. And as of May 1, we are now open for bottom fish in select areas. I want you guys to check your rigs. There's lots of areas that are still closed, but there's lots of areas that are now open. And the first handful of weeks of the open season can be excellent if you're getting out for rockfish and lingcod in those open areas. So you definitely want to check that out. Good excuse. Go out, do some salmon fishing, do some catch and release, because as you all know, it's still a catch and release fishery out there. But then you can still take dinner home, get a rockfish, get a lingcod, just as long as you're doing it in the open areas. Now on the video front, I got another video for you guys this week. The guys and I have been playing around the shop. We're not bored, we're really busy. You guys have been supporting us so well, but obviously with no one in the store, there is the odd downtime. And we've been rigging up the fly rods and practicing some tweaked roll casts, getting our game on point. And I shared this week the basic roll cast, but I took it to a little bit higher level. So I'm working on having you guys shift from left to right with your roll casts. And this is something you can do inside right now. I walked through how you can load up your rod, break it in half, overload the line so it casts beautifully in tight spots. And these angles are the same whether you've got a 9-foot rod or a 2-foot rod. Working through them is really going to help you. If you've ever struggled slightly with roll cast, or you've hooked your shoulder, or you just haven't felt comfortable when you're roll casting in tight situations, take 10 minutes right now, set up the house, play this video, I'll link it up here, and work through these skills. I've got a couple more videos coming where we're going to do some more advanced stuff, some cool trick casts, some cool drop casts. We're going to throw in some spade casts that you guys can do with your single hands. So if you're stuck inside, you can take advantage of it and come out of it a better fly fisherman. All right, that gets us to the end of the report, guys. We're going to be announcing our Cutthroat Fly Box giveaway. I've got the box right here. This is a $150 box that we're giving away for free. The support on this video is outstanding. 170 of you guys put your comments down, liked the video, and said you want the box, and so we're going to give it to you. I've got a big bucket here of names. Pretty excited to do this. Again, thank you so much, guys, for all the support on this video, as well as everyone that called in to buy one of these boxes. We're all actually sold out of boxes right now, but if you guys want one of these boxes, check the video out up here. It goes through our go-to Cutthroat box, which is still going to be applicable even as we push into the end of May, because there's some cool estuary stuff, some cool smaller tributary stuff where this stuff will be effective. And so give us a call, put a special order in, we'll build more boxes for you guys. It just may take 5 or 10 days for that to happen. But I've got this box here, so let's give it away. So these are all the names, 170 of you guys. Again, thanks for the support. Let's pull it out and see who we get. All right, I'm gonna mess it up. All right, who have we got here? Mark Nichols. Did I hear you say that you'll take Old Stinky Socks, subscriber to Sports Box Fishing? I have a pair. I mean a box. I don't know what any of that means, Mark, but I'm sure it's hilarious. Congratulations, buddy. You've won the box. I'm going to send you a personal message with details, and I want you guys to get back to me, and I'll send that box out to you. Or if you can pick it up at the shop, that'd be ideal as well. All right, guys, that's everything for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, you want to see more reports like this, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and we'll catch you in the next Friday Fishing Report.